Okay. Hopefully this one works out. Let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome. Pull up a chair. Hopefully this works out this time. I think I got it right. Oh man. Pretty sure for the last couple of lives, I've had it locked so that only super fans can chat. That was never my intention. I apologize, guys. We live and we learn. We are understanding. Well, I hope you guys understand. I appreciate it. Sorry about that one. It was my bad. I just didn't realize it. I set it up the one time so that Tactical Thursdays would be set that way, but I forgot to turn off the setting. And I'm pretty sick here too, which makes it even worse. With allergies and everything going on out here in Thailand, in terms of just sheer high season and low season, and of course the more environmental issues that it brings, more traffic, more smog, that type of stuff. I'm very congested, so you have to forgive me today. I just popped 2 fisherman friends. We're gonna walk through this. We're gonna get through this together, guys. So, hello and welcome. Pull up a chair. My name is D, and I am a 100% P&T rated veteran. And my goal, my mission is to make sure that every veteran gets the VA rating that they deserve. And then so, thank you for being here with me this evening. For me, this morning, because it is 5 a.m. here, around 5:20. And for you, mostly, if you're on the East Coast, 5 p.m., which is my goal, because I know a lot of you are starting out with the challenge of not even knowing where to start, which is my issue when I first got going too. I had no idea what I was doing. So right now is a very good time for you. If you're just getting off of work, maybe if you're stuck in traffic, I don't know, you're scrolling through TikTok and you got here, stop and download the va.gov application. You can find it in the Play Store. You can find it on the Apple app. I don't use Apple, but it is a decent application. If you log into it, it not only gives you a lot of good information, but it also helps you connect with the VA in a way that most of us wouldn't be able to do in real time. If you're stuck in traffic and you're like me, like I was, where I was having a lot of road rage, you can actually message the VA in real time and let them know that you're going through an episode in that moment in time, right? This is all forward in the future, but what I'm trying to tell you is that to build your claim and to truly understand what the VA is looking for in terms of evidence, you have to go gather that evidence if you did not already do it in service. If you have no in-service treatments, the only way to gather that evidence is to go get it now. And what better time to do it in real time? So if you're having issues in real time, migraines in real time, whatever it may be in real time, you can log into the application and upload evidence to your provider in real time. Greetings to you as well, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight, this evening. I want to make sure that I get through a lot of your comments. Thank you for the follows as well, because I am on a mission to make sure that every veteran gets the rating that they truly deserve. Now, I'll never say that we all deserve 100%, because not all of us have been through the same thing. But if you made it through basic training, if you've ever spent any time on active duty, there is something that you deserve. May it be education, may it be something for your family, may it be financial compensation, but there is something that you deserve. And what we forget after we get out is that the military promised us something as well, which is to take care of us after we left, after we sacrifice our bodies and our minds to the military, to our country, to our government, and that they would take care of us in the same in kind. But they make us fight for those benefits, and that's unfortunate. So with that being said, thank you. I'm glad that you guys understand it as well, because until you self-advocate, you'll never get the rating that you truly deserve. The VA is not there to help you. I know a lot of us think that the VA is here to help you, but it is not. The VA is here to help you maintain. And it just depends on the level of maintenance that you're requesting. If you're like me, I request the highest care. And if you hold that against me, that is on you. If you are okay with being a 30% rated veteran, that is the quality of care you're requesting from them. You're telling them that you're only 30% disabled. That is completely up to you. But you also have to understand that there's only a certain amount of benefits at 30%. Now, I'm not saying that there's an incentive to decide I'm going to malinger to get a higher rating, because that is nothing that I've ever advocated. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that the majority of you are underrated. The majority of you are underrated because you spend a lot of your time in a stoic, everyone else must depend on me mindset as a veteran, when no one is requiring that of you as a veteran. They may have required that of you as active duty, but you as a veteran are just as human as everyone else, and you deserve as much care as everyone else does as well. Why must you carry every load on your back? I only say these things because I want to make sure that every veteran gets the rating that they truly deserve. And with that, a lot of you are underrated because you are so accustomed to carrying every load and being quiet about it, because you've been told so many times in your career, in your lives, to suck it up. How many times did you go to sick call? How many times did you get called something if you did go to sick call? How many times did you get called into an office if you went to sick call? How many times did you get the opportunity in the field to go to sick call? These are all things that we dealt with while we were in, and we didn't consider them. And now that we're older, and these things are taking a toll, not only on our physical, but our mental as well, that all we know is to suck it up. And the VA knows this. The VA knows this. So if you're listening to me right now, you're in a place where it's only 5:30 in the afternoon, log into va.gov and start your intent to file. Because when we talk about these 3x3 VA claim filings, everything we do with the VA comes in threes. Think of these things in threes anytime you deal with the VA. May it be how you talk to the VA. May it be how your claim goes with the VA. Or may it be how the DBQ breaks down for mental health with the VA. Now, Atlanta, what up? Yeah. What up, Atlanta? What'd you do 2 weeks ago? Did you go to a CP exam 2 weeks ago? What exactly happened 2 weeks ago? And guys, as you come into the room, let me know where you're from. Let me know where you are in your VA journey, because the intent to file. Excellent. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So listen, the 3x3 when it comes to what we deal with the VA. I'm trying to get it out of the screen so you guys can see it. Your intent to file. Your intent to file is the, I would say, lightest part of the claim, but it's the foundation of the claim. Because if you don't set your intent to file now, if you wait until literally the day that something breaks and you can't do it anymore, but you've been dealing with this for the last some odd years, you have so much back pay that you're missing out on. Set that intent to file. Put the pen into the wall and say, I will come back with the second part of all that what you're asking for, which is the medical. So the intent to file, easiest part of it, log into va.gov. Log into va.gov. It's where you can find your DD-214. You can find your medical records, your STRs. You can find a lot of history logging into va.gov and requesting it through the va.gov website. It is the easiest way of doing this. Please take the time to just stop right now and log into va.gov so you can get a hold of this claim, right? So do people get denied even after going to sick call multiple times in service? Absolutely. Absolutely, they get denied. I went to sick call. Luckily, I went to sick call for what you see me squirming for right now. It's my back, my shoulders, and my neck, and my knees, and my mental health. And I got denied for everything the first time out. Completely obliterated. They didn't even give me a 0. They said no across the board. This was in 2011. I said, well, I guess there isn't nothing wrong with me. The VA says there's nothing wrong with me. But to fast forward into 2018, I'm really hurting. Like, this is like DEFCON 5. And I go back to the VA and I say, listen, I can't do this anymore, mentally and physically. And then by 2019, I get my first rating of 0 to 70%. What was the difference in between me filing in 2011 and 2018-19? Medical evidence. I went and found my medical evidence. I put these things together for myself because I said, well, what did I get wrong the first time that I'm not going to get wrong this time? And I did my research and I found out this isn't the lottery. This isn't just me going in and telling my story and hoping that the VA understands. You must go talk to the VA and talk to the VA properly. When did it start? What are your issues and symptoms, the severity and frequency, and how does it affect me daily? What I was going into the VA and doing was saying, well, it hurts. And they say, well, how bad did it hurt? And I say, well, it hurts enough that I don't like it. Okay. When did it start? What are your issues and symptoms, the severity and frequency, and how does it affect you daily? Doc, this started when I was in service. I cannot twist, I cannot turn, I cannot bend, I cannot sit, I cannot stand. I must pop pills. I oversleep after I pop these pills. I miss work because I pop pills. I take a lot of self-medication as well. It is leading me to a lot of mental health issues that are causing me to have road rage when I'm on the road. This is how it affects you daily. Well, how often? This is every day. This is every day. This is how we talk to the VA, right? So we talk about these things in threes. So yes, all of that being said, you can get denied even if you went to sick call, because if you walk into the C&P examiners, if you walk into the C&P exam and you do this whole I'm a stoic veteran, and they start to ask you, well, what's wrong? And you say, well, it hurts a little bit. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. You must be vulnerable. You must tell the truth, and you must learn how to tell it. You must learn how to speak to the VA. So when we do the things in the other three, it is the intent to file, it is your medical evidence, and it is the C&P exam. And these things combined will determine your rating with the VA. Like Captain Planet, if you combine these things or form of the shape of, I don't remember, it was so long ago, but you got to put these things together with the VA, because if you go into it thinking this is a lottery, a Willy Wonka golden ticket, you're going to fail. And this is where we get a lot of our veterans who are jaded after the fact because they didn't learn before they walked in. They just walked in thinking they were going to talk their way into it, and that's not how the VA works. Can I use private medical evidence from doctors I've seen? Absolutely. You should use your own private doctors. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you go to the VA, you say something hurts, the VA is going to drag you through mud, because the VA is only there to give you the type of maintenance that you're requiring. And if you don't go in with that, you're going to give me mentality, they're going to push back on it. They're going to see how much you want. So if you go in and say, it hurts, they're going to say, here's some Motrin, just like they did while you were in service. The exact same way. But if you go talk to your own private doctor and you say, hey, listen, this hurts. And the doctor says, hey, I'm a real doctor and I'm really here to help you. Let me prescribe these things. Let me give you some documentation as to what you truly should do for yourself, and let me show you how to properly maintain. And you take that into the VA and you say, hey, listen, my doctor has diagnosed me. My doctor has diagnosed me with PTSD. My doctor has diagnosed me with GERD. My doctor has diagnosed me with this. Don't leave it up to the VA, because if you do, the VA, the doctors are still plugged in. I keep thinking of myself as Morpheus from The Matrix because it is my favorite trilogy. The Matrix is my favorite trilogy. And I see myself as Morpheus. And if you think of that part of the movie where he's explaining to Neo about plugging into the Matrix and being distracted by the lady in red, listen, the doctors are the ladies in red. No offense to the ladies out there. But you think you're dealing with someone who truly cares about you because you go talk to this doctor at the VA, and they don't. They're still plugged in. Now, are there some people out there that are human and care about veterans and want to truly help veterans? Absolutely. You will find unicorns in the system, but the majority of them are the lady in red. The majority of them are only there to help you maintain to a point. Go find your own doctors. Is it expensive? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Okay, so use your own doctors. I had a CFP exam this morning. I'm worried if it didn't go well. I was only on the video call for 15 minutes. That's per typical. That is per typical. That's how the VA is going to treat you. You're talking to ladies in red. They are still plugged into the system. You think that they are doctors to help you. They're not. They're not there to help you. If you're going to find, if you think you're going to find that unicorn, good luck. Go look for that unicorn. You're not going to find them. If you had a 15-minute conversation with the doctor, that's what you got, because that's what the VA is going to do to you. Now, can you prepare for that doctor? Absolutely. When you log in and you start talking to that doctor, and that doctor immediately says, I don't care, and you can tell from their facial expressions, you can tell from the way that they're responding to you, you can tell that they're already doing other things and eating an apple like an evil villain, all those other, listen, welcome to the VA. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. But what you can do for yourself is you can have your documentation ready. Hey, I got this written down. These are the things that I want to talk to you about. Boom, boom, boom. Did you hear me? You don't have to be rude, but I've been doing this for years. You don't have to be rude, but you can be direct. These people are not here to help you. They're here to help you maintain. So if it didn't go well, tell the VA it didn't go well. Log in at va.gov and say, my examiner had me on for 15 minutes, and I don't think my examiner listened to anything that I said. So not only am I going to tell you right now what that examiner should have heard, but I'm going to tell you some extra things as well. Do you need to be rude? No. But do you need to be serious about your claim? Absolutely. This is not lottery. It's law. Does back pay only go back as far as the date you began the intent to file? That is correct. It only goes back to the date that you decide to log into va.gov and put that PIN in the system. Do it now. Do it right now. Stop. Take a break. Breathe. Go log into va.gov. It's not that hard. It doesn't hurt. It can only help you. They make it difficult for you because they know you're going to quit. And as a veteran, that hurts me. My ego alone, I don't know how your egos are, but my ego alone tells me as a veteran, now I must follow through. Now I must do this. You're going to make this difficult for me on purpose? Oh, I'm going to do this now. So I don't know how other people feel out there, but that's just the way I think. I'm a veteran. I was in the military. I did my service. I dedicated my mind and body to the service. I achieved something. I achieved a goal. I followed through on that goal. I deserve all the accolades that come along with being a veteran. And that means logging into va.gov and getting your back pay. Don't be nervous. Don't be scared to poke the bear. The bear is only scary because you don't know what you're doing. Guys, I'm going to try to get through these. I'll slow down. Let me answer. Can I use private? Yeah, we said that. Tip, don't shower. Listen, guys, listen. We don't belinger around here with these things. Look at me today. I got to be honest. I knew I was going to be on with you guys today, but I still didn't go get a haircut. I still look like I look simply because this is the way I look. And this is my baseline. And I don't care what you think about these things. And with that being said, my baseline is normally I wear the same clothes repeatedly throughout the week. I don't shave, I don't shower, I don't brush, and I don't cut sometimes. Does that mean that I don't do this, that I don't sometimes look clean and professional? Absolutely, because this is ebb and flow. Sometimes I'm down and sometimes I'm up, but this is life. But if you go into the CP examiner and they are human and they know you come in smelling like poop because you think they're stupid, that doesn't make any sense. Do you normally look like you look when you walk into a CP examiner's office with holes in your shirt? You smell like ass cream? If you don't normally look like that, don't go in malingering because they're human and they know. Once again, we talk about these things in 3x3s. If you're a woman listening to me right now, if you are a biological female, if you've ever dealt with a male before, have you ever looked at a man and said, yeah, he looks like that. That's him. That's him. He looks like that. That's not him on a reason. That's not him on occasion. That's him on a regular. He looks like that. He smells like that. So if you walk into a CP examiner's office and you think that she's not going to know that you tried to fake it today because you put a little mascara underneath your eye or you dressed a little bit bummy, and you fail already. Don't malinger. If you are normally clean because the job that you work at requires that you stay clean, you can tell the doctor that. You don't need to walk in looking like a hobo. And then when you walk around outside, you pull it all off like Kaiser Sose. These people, you're idiots. They're people. They're people. So when we talk about these things in threes, the intent to file, the medical evidence that you must turn in, and the human that you're going to go see for the CMP exam, maybe online or maybe in person. Don't malinger. If you normally look like you look, you can tell the doctor that. It's just that simple. Sorry, I don't mean to harp. I'm not a fan of the malingering. Get the rating that you deserve. That's it. When at CMP, talk only bad days. Once again, these people that you're speaking to are human. They know some days are good, most days are bad, all the time is chronic. So if you say every day is like a gloomy day because I'm Eeyore, no one's going to believe you. Because most humans have good days and bad days. Yes, describe your worst day, but you can also talk about a good day. What's a baseline for you? This is my baseline. My baseline, is about 3 weeks. My baseline is about 3 to 4 weeks before my wife finally gets fed up and she says enough is enough. You stinky bastard. Go clean. And then so sometimes when you see me, I'll actually have come on, man. I'm 100% for 10 years. Dave, woo, woo. We give those Ric Flair woos around here to all those 100% PNTers because I tell you, I know that mountain is hard to climb. I know the amount of medical evidence and time and patience that it takes to make it to 100%. So not only do I say congratulations and give you a salute, brother, but woo, congratulations, because that mountain, 10 years. I tell you, Will I get reevaluated for CMP? No, because you're locked in at 10 years. 20 years is the max. You never get reevaluated. Honestly, even if they find something in your records that would change the idea, but at 20 years, you're locked in for life. It just is what it is. At 10 years, you're not going to get reevaluated. But if you go back in and ask for something more, absolutely, they're going to reevaluate you without a doubt. Because you're now saying after 10 years of being CMP that something has gotten worse, they're going to reopen your claim. So with that being said, if you made it to that point, Elsa, let it go. Let it go. Walk away from it. Leave it alone. If you put in another claim, leave it alone. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you guys. I'll try to get through some of these comments because I do see a lot, but I get hung up on that malingering part because we're human. You're going to go speak to a human. And like I say, if you're a female, you've got these intuitions about these things. You've got in your gut. You can read people and you say, you know what? That doesn't sound like the truth. I can look at this dude. That doesn't look like the truth. He walked in here with clean shoes and a clean beard, but he smells like ass. That doesn't seem like the truth. You guys are not you're not thoughtful with these things. We're just human. Some days are good. Most days are bad. You can say that. Does back pay go? Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Let me get back through it. Let me read through because some of the comments pop up. They scroll back up again. Is it pre-recorded? Does he answer questions? Who's that? Do I sound pre-recorded? Do you guys think I'm an AI? I've been told that I'm AI before. I've been told my voice sounds very AI. I've been told that I sound like the guys that you listen to when you watch a movie preview. I don't know. Yeah, I talk. It is my voice. High-speed didn't sit call. Oh, never mind. Okay, so it looks like cases lost someone on the field. If a specific claim. These are private records the docs have seen, so they count. Yes, absolutely. Listen, guys, if you've ever watched Law and Order, if you ever watched a TV show, if you guys have ever watched a show like I Love Law and Order SVU, don't judge me. But if you've ever watched a cop show, CSI, whatever, you know that they still have to go gather the evidence. Sometimes it's almost pretty obvious in the beginning who's at fault, but they still got to go gather evidence. And this is the exact same thing. If you go into this thinking that it's the lottery and not the law, you're going to fail every single time. And then, so with that being said, any evidence that you can bring to the table is still evidence nonetheless. Now, can the VA overlook it? Yeah, because they probably will, because that's what they do. But in terms of bringing the evidence, why wouldn't you? Bring your evidence. Bring what you can, especially when it comes to, what happens in secondary. So when it comes to your medications, the side effects of your medications are a huge leeway door opener, provider into secondary claims. Because the things that your medications cause are sometimes worse than the primary. I know for me, it absolutely is. One thing that taking the trazodone and the prazosin does is that it puts me out like a damn light. And then I'm down 12, 13, 14 hours. How do you explain that to an employer as a veteran that you took some medications from the VA and it puts you out for 13 hours and you just can't come in today because you're still walking through a fog? But the VA gave it to you, though. The VA gave it to you, though. And if you're denied at 90, brothers and sisters, and you're infantry, Trevor, good to see you, though. Listen, if you were infantry at all, if you were combat at all, the VA treats you worse. I'm going to be honest. That's my opinion. I don't distinguish between veterans at all. I think we are veterans. I don't see combat veterans. I don't see non-combat, but the VA does. The VA does. And I think that that's more because the way that you guys go about filing your claims a lot of times is very incorrect. And if you filed them properly the first time, they wouldn't deny you so much and they wouldn't stick you at 90% so much because they recognize that you get very frustrated because you are a combat veteran. That's just my opinion. But listen to what I'm trying to tell you. As a combat veteran, or a veteran in general, when you go talk to the VA, you must do these things in threes. When did it start? What are your issues and symptoms and severity and frequency? And how does it affect you today? And a lot of you stick into the daily part, and you're good at talking about when it started, but you're not good at talking about your severity and frequency. You're not good at talking about your severity and frequency. Some of you walked in, you've said things about your severity and frequency that aren't true, and you've Samuel L. Jackson pigeonholed yourself because they've asked you multiple times, do you feel like you're going to hurt yourself or someone else? And you say, oh, no, I would never do such a thing, when on a daily basis, you feel like hurting people. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. So now you've said it multiple times, no. And now you're going back and asking for an increase. And they're saying, but you've been telling us no the entire time. Because you don't know how to talk about your severity and frequency. Well, doc, this is chronic. It happens constantly. Or, like a human, some days are a 9. Most days are a 9. But when I take my medication, I'm at a 6. It's a tolerable 6. That's human. So, a lot of our combat brothers and sisters don't know how to talk about these things. You just go in and you just like, I'm upset because I haven't gotten the rating that I deserve, and no doctors are here are listening to me. No one cares. No one cares about your pain. I know it hurts to hear. I know it hurts your brain to hear, your ears to hear, because you want to tell your story, brothers and sisters, but no one at the VA cares. They don't care about your pain. Oh, excuse me. That is the sickness still coming out of me. They don't care about your pain. They only care about your function. How does it affect you daily? Well, doc, some days I don't get out of bed because it hurts too much. May it be mental and or physical. Well, how often does it happen? I would say 4 or 5 days out of the week. Wow, that's a lot. Well, how bad does it hurt? Well, it's usually at a 9. But if I take my meds, if I don't forget to take my meds, maybe it's at a 6. When did it start? What are your issues and symptoms, the severity and frequency, and how does it affect me today? And I said that within 30 seconds. So if you've only got 15 minutes to talk to your CMP examiner, that's just one whole claim out of the gate right there, done within 30 seconds. You must learn how to talk to the VA because they don't care about you. I know it hurts. I know it hurts to hear. I know you think they should, but they don't. This always confuses me because there's zero effort in trying to beef up a clan. You got to know how to work the VA system. We're not here to work the VA system. We're here to understand the VA system. I don't like the word, even if you don't mean work like in a negative way. I don't like the word work. We're here to understand the VA system because even though it is a system, it is still run by humans. It is still operated by humans. And if you don't understand the humanality of speaking to someone and telling them about these issues and symptoms so that they sympathize and empathize with you, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. That's not working the system. That's just understanding how to talk in a language that someone understands properly. If you get up and get the chance to talk to Oprah, since we all know her name, and you're sitting in a chair and Oprah says, tell me your story. Who wants to sit and listen to you talk for 45 minutes about the same crap in circle over and over again? You probably live with someone right now as a veteran who is tired of hearing you talk about the same crap over and over again in the exact same way, because that's the way you talk it. But you go into the VA telling them that exact same thing. They are human too. No one wants to hear your story. No one cares, bro. I know it hurts. They only care about your function. How does it affect you daily? Well, Oprah, some days I don't get out of bed. How do you guys get $8,000+ in the back pay? Do you charge before I have to get the people $100? I don't understand the questions here, but it's at the files January 14th. Yes, sir, I agree. These are the perks. $80. Yes, yeah, $80. What? Yeah, I don't understand the questions either. Sometimes, sometimes you guys don't give a lot of context. Sorry, my brain just it has a hard time not understanding context. The OCD in me must understand what you mean. I ask the question why a lot. I know. When we went through school, we had the 5 W's. We had the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and the most important is why. The most important is why. So think about this when you go to the VA also. When you're filing your claim, you must think of why you're filing your claim. Because a lot of you fail out of the gate filing your claim with the what in mind. What am I going to get from this? Not the why am I filing for this. You need to start with the why am I filing for this. It's gotten worse. Okay, that's a problem. That's a good reason why. But even on that level, why are you filing for it? Is it because the VA is not taking a good enough care? Has it transformed into something else as a secondary claim? If it started out as tinnitus and now it is transformed into migraines or memory loss or anxiety, depression, these are the ways that we file our claim. But a lot of you go into it saying, as once again, as combat veterans, and a lot of you too say, well, I've got anxiety or I've got depression. That is not that is not a claim. That is a secondary. That is a residual of PTSD. Depression is secondary to PTSD. You didn't just develop depression. Your PTSD caused your depression. So when you file for depression and then you go back in for PTSD, they're going to get denied. It's just all under the same umbrella. It's all the same thing. So a lot of you need to really focus in on what you're filing and how you're filing too, which is another reason why you're getting denied in the first place. You're 70%, 100% down with all kinds of tips. Yeah, that's what's up. The 60-40 rule doesn't apply for TDIU. Still apply? Yes, it does. You must be 70% of something or 40% combined for TDIU. But TDIU is a very hard way to go. Because of the 3x3s, like we say, TDIU is a very hard way to go. So if you're thinking about it in threes, may it be 100% scheduler, 100% P&T, excuse me, or 100% TDIU. TDIU is a very hard way to go. And I started out as TDIU. If you look at my letter, it still says that I'm TDIU, but I am also PNT. So yes, it still does apply. Can I get a sleep study at home? Yes, and you should get a sleep study at home. You should do your own sleep study. You should go to your own doctor, and go get your own sleep study done. You should. If in 3 levels you thought about these things, when it comes to sleep studies, it is doing your own from a kit that you may have bought on Amazon. Not very good. I wouldn't recommend it. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Wouldn't recommend it. Second one is that you really go pay a doctor to do your sleep study. Really go get it done. That's the best way. And then third, you can have the VA do it, of course. But once again, ladies in red, they're plugged into the matrix. You're probably not going to get the ratings you want when you do either one of these. Go do this one. Go get your own sleep study done. They're still going to send you for their sleep study, but you can combat their sleep study with your own sleep study as well. They can bring their own defense in just as well as you can bring your offense in. Yeah. So I've been fighting for full disability over the last 10 years. Yeah. Welcome to the show. All you can do is prepare yourself. That's all you can do. Sleep apnea also too, guys. Listen, we have this misconception that once a rule, always a rule with the VA. The VA is constantly updating their rules. The M-21 is constantly being updated. The 38 CFRs are constantly being updated. And I'm not talking like yearly. I'm talking like monthly. They're constantly being updated, right? So if you think sleep apnea is still an easy claim, it is not. It is not. On top of the fact that once veterans found out that it was an easier claim to get approved for, the VA said enough is enough and started to lock it down. So a lot of the times when they prescribe you that CPAP, a lot of times when they put the Darth Vader on you, they're saying that they're fixing you so that you're no longer at the rating that you thought you were at. If you're at a 50% for that sleep apnea and they give you a CPAP now, you can actually be reduced if you go back in and try to actually increase your claim. Now, let me say, I apologize. Let me stop a little bit. If you were at 30 and they give you a CPAP and you go back in to increase to 50, they can actually reduce you because they've given you a CPAP. Before it was, well, yes, we've given you a CPAP, so it means it's pretty bad. But now, because they've prescribed everybody a CPAP, how much sense does it make for them to actually say that it's still worse? Then of course they're going to say, now, no, you're actually cured because we've given you a CPAP. And then you can actually be up for reduction from that point. So listen, guys, don't rush into this sleep apnea claim thinking I've got a CPAP machine. This means that I'm going to get a higher increase in rating. It actually means the opposite now. And this also goes for a lot of other ratings. If you went in for tinnitus in the beginning and they gave you a hearing aid now that you have an hearing aid, it now means your tinnitus is I'm sorry, not tinnitus, hearing loss. Now means your hearing loss is fixed. Don't go into these situations listening to other veterans, believing what happened, what was good 10 years ago is still good now. That shit's no longer good for you. I promise you it's not. You need to go figure out on your own what's good for your claim. You need to figure these things out. You need to take some self responsibility and accountability, guys. But listen, I was only supposed to be here for an hour. And there's a lot of people in this chat. My back is already done. The sun's getting ready to come up here in a second. My family's got to be getting up. We got some family time to go through. So I'm going to move through these comments, but I will be back here again at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that anybody that didn't get logged in right now, anyone that I missed your comment down here right now, we'll be back on. We'll be back on with you for an hour and a half. We'll be back on from 8 p.m. to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I promise you I'll catch up with you then. I won't rant so much then. But I got started earlier with that one comment about the malingering, and we do not do the malingering around here. We don't lie. It's just as easy to tell the truth and to remember that truth as it is to lie about something and try to remember it later. And then get gummed up in your claim. So let's see. Let me go through them. Finally diagnosed with PTSD. I'm glad you guys, when you actually do get your ratings properly, I'm glad when you do find that level. Let's go through the content. Like I say, I promise. Excuse me too, because I'm still sick here, still going through it with this weather changing and my allergies. But like I said, I'll be back at 8 p.m. and then we can go back through it again, guys, because I really want you to log into va.gov. I really want you to get that first part. This is the easiest part that you can do for yourself. The easiest thing that you can do for yourself is to log into va.gov. Don't go to a VSO. Don't even message me. Log into va.gov, get logged in, and request your service treatment records. Request your DD-214, because it is the most simplistic part that you can do for yourself when it comes to your claim, on top of putting in your intent to file. Even if you don't have your medical records yet, just starting your intent to file is the best thing you can do for yourself, because then you have 1 full year to go gather as much medical evidence as you possibly can. It's just that simple. Just that simple. So we'll be back. I'll be back. What about age? What's your system? VA claim filing company, someone don't discourage her from filing because of that. It depends on who you go talk to. Think about these things in very simplistic terms. I'm sitting in a car. I know how to drive a car, but if you asked me to change my tire or to do my oil, you would be hard pressed to find me underneath this car doing it. Not going to happen. So I would need a mechanic to do it. So who do I choose? I can take it back to the dealership, and I know the dealership is going to charge me dealership prices because they got people to pay for. So I'm going to pay a dealership price. But am I going to get good service? Probably, because they got a good system. Hopefully. And you can go talk to a mom and pop down the street because they might be good at what they do. They've been around for a couple years and they know what they're doing from experience. They're going to charge you less, but you know you're going to get good service and you're going to be able to come back to them at any time, right? Or you can go talk to somebody who Joe Smo says knows what they're doing for free because he's just a college student or he's just an old grumpy vet who just works at a place who just does that type of stuff. And yeah, it sounds like I'm talking about VSOs because that's who I'm talking about. But you have to make that choice. This is your claim. If you want to get it underneath that hood, go do it yourself. But you will find out, like me, a 100% P&T veteran who did it himself for 12 years, that's how long it took me. 12 years. I did it all myself, but it took me 12 years to change the oil. I refuse to let any other veteran go through changing their own oil for 12 years. That's just not what I want to do. So I offer services to help make sure that you get the rating that you deserve, because I will never tell a veteran that they deserve 100%. That's just not my vocabulary. So with that being said, you can do it yourself. You go change your own oil if you want to. You can be like me if you want to. Or you could go ask someone who's done it a couple times, hey, direct me in the right direction. Send me right down the right path and take it as such. It's up to you. Or you go talk to that old grumpy vet at the VSO shop and hope for the best. But those old tools that they use, I love VSOs. I spent 6 months in a VSO training facility? No. Camp? Online. It was online for 6 months. And I knew quickly it was not for me. I knew quickly to be a VSO was not going to be for me. Because I can't come on here and say the things that I want to say as a VSO. And that's just true. It is what it is. So with that being said, guys, like I said, I'm already pretty tight, especially turned at this angle. We're not going to do this again at this angle. This just hurts too much. My back is done right now. We got a ton of comments in the chat. I hope you guys are keeping up with each other. 100% Club. Woo! I tell you, get those Ric Flair woos around here to every veteran who's made it to 100%. Because I know how difficult it truly is to make it there. And guys, like I said, we'll be back. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Thank you for the follows. I really wish that I could have gotten through a lot more of these comments. But I got to get inside. I didn't expect so many people to be on at this time. But I'll make sure that in the future that I plan a little bit better for you guys, because I definitely want to make sure that, did lady show up? Lady, you're very early. What? I literally messaged you and told you exactly what time I was going to be on. Lady, come on. Okay, it takes to see you the appointments. Yeah, it does. It takes a lot with those appointments, man. I'm hearing people are a year out. I'm hearing people are a year out in terms of appointments and such right now. So that sucks. But just understand that when it comes to the VA, they're there to help you maintain. They're not here to help you in general. Fighting for a chronic stenosis. Diagnosis VA saying that I don't have a diagnosis. Yeah, because they'll diagnose you and tell you in your decision letter that they've diagnosed you, but then tell you that you don't have a diagnosis properly. See, listen, guys, I'm not telling you that this veteran's incorrect in these things, but I'm telling you, itty bitty one, listen. But what I'm saying is that a lot of veterans are misdiagnosed because they get diagnosed with anxiety by their doctor when they truly should be diagnosed PTSD with something else. And then so when you go file for PTSD, but your diagnosis is anxiety, depression, major MDD, whatever it may be, you've been diagnosed, yes, but you're not filing for the proper diagnosis, and the VA will deny you for filing for something that you're not diagnosed for. So I'm not saying thank you for joining the fan club. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, itty bitty. I just want you guys to understand the difference in it. And in itty bitty, if you've been denied, guys, honestly, if you're stuck in that same boat where you've been denied a handful of times, right? And you don't know why, please come talk to me, because we will sit and strategize and really find out what's wrong, what's going on, and send you forward so that you know what's coming next, right? And even if you decide to work with me after the fact or decide to go off on your own, my name is D. I am a 100% P&T rated veteran, and my entire goal in life is to make sure that every veteran gets the rating that they truly deserve. And that's what I believe. So I will see you guys here shortly at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because the chat's still flooding and I can't. I'm sorry, guys. I really am starting to lock up here. I will see you again soon. Please join me again. We'll see you here in a little bit. Peace. Take care, guys.